All right, so here's a fun one for you. I have got the whole dashboard of the box truck torn apart. And the reason for that is when we bought this thing, the blower, the heater blower, the air conditioning blower did not work, didn't do anything. The mechanic at the trucking company where we bought it from thought that probably it was the climate control module in here. And, well, here's the old one right here. They used the same one for like, I think about 35 years or something from what I'm seeing in the parts listings. This has been replaced before. This is a Dorman that was in there, and that's an aftermarket brand. You can't, as far as I can find, you can't get the AC Delcos anymore. So the exact replacement Dorman from O'Reilly's or AutoZone or any of the Napa, any of our parts places, which is basically all they carry for options, is the Dorman. Any of our parts places in town was close to $300, $260-something, $289, something like that. So I went to Rock Auto, which can be a good place to get much more affordable parts. The exact same Dorman part number there was like $140. So half the price. That was much better. Of course, it's going to be shipping. And then Melanie said, can you get that on eBay or something? So I checked on eBay. You can get them on eBay. Then I thought, just for kicks, I'd go to Amazon because I have an Amazon Prime account. And sure enough, you can get them on Amazon as well. So I picked one up for $40 even, instead of like $280, I think it was, or $140 at Rock Auto. And it's still a Chinese aftermarket part, but I just plugged it in and it works. The hard part is not replacing this thing. I got it upside down for you. The hard part is not replacing this thing. The hard part is getting the dash panel off. Once you get the dash panel off, this has one 7mm bolt on this side here, and it comes unplugged. And there's a bunch of connections on the back, which are not hard to undo. It's getting the dash apart that's a challenge. So again, here's the dashboard, and you can see there's a big hole there. This is the dash panel. The thing's huge. It goes all the way across. But what's challenging about it, because it's actually not too hard to get off, I didn't film when I was doing it, but you just get your fingers in here and you can, where it joins up here, and you can pop it loose. And there's just a bunch of clips that connect through different points in the dashboard. And that's all that holds it on. There's no screws or anything. There were a couple of smaller pieces underneath here that I had to pull first. And then other than that, yeah, it's just pull this thing off. It's a little bit of a trick to get it around the steering wheel. So if you've got a tilt wheel, let me tilt mine down here. I do have a tilt wheel, one of the few options we have in here. Tilt the wheel down, then foot on the brake, turn the key on. You can drop your shift lever. That's pretty much the easiest way to get it out from over the steering column here. And anyways, then once you get it out, you know, then the trick is, you can see all these wires here, right? There's a couple over here. There's some here. There's some more here. There's more over here. And all of these are connected to controls and items on this dash panel. So we've got the computer controls there for the display. We've got dome light and headlights. We've got this one here where there's a hole. This is the shift thing, because this has the tow. It was a moving truck. Originally, it's got the tow haul mode, and it goes into tow haul by default. And then you have to hit that button to take it out of tow haul. We've got a PowerPoint. We've got the passenger airbag control switch. We've got another PowerPoint. And then the stereo and the climate control module are in here. So all these things you have to unplug, and they're all quick connects. And some of them are hard to get undone. And they all have different releases in different places. But the catch is you've only got about this much room behind the dash panel when those are plugged in. And you got to try and get your hand in there and do it. So that was the tricky part. Replacing the climate control module was simple, and I just turned it on and it does work. So now we finally have heat and air conditioning. We've had no air conditioning all summer long because I didn't get around to fixing this thing. And that was not like an intentional thing. It was just we were busy with building the back. And we went to use it, and it's like, oh, crud, we don't have any air conditioning, right? And so we came back and did some more projects in the back, and then, oh, yeah, I didn't fix the air conditioning yet. So we got it fixed now. I know how to replace it again. if it fails in the future, but basically you've got about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 electrical connections and then a couple of vacuum connections over here. They have quick releases on them. You just pop them off and you can swap it out. So, and again, here's a look at the back of this one to give you a better idea. And, you know, pretty simple. It was a Dorman that was in here. That's an aftermarket. So AC Delco is not available as far as I could find. And I don't even want to know what they would be cost-wise if they were available. So anyway, there's our pretty simple fix. If I'd had this done in a shop somewhere, you know, this would have been, I don't know, at least an hour's labor, right? Maybe more, I don't know. At least an hour's labor, and then, you know, a few $100s for a part. So, I mean, it would have been a, you know, probably a $400 or $500 repair, and I was able to do it for $40. So, I just wanted to share that. If you got one of these GMC Savanas or Chevy Express vans, including the box truck, it's a van. It's technically a box van. It's on a van. It's got a van cab on it and everything here. So, with a heavy duty suspension. So, I did also remove the stereo because it didn't work. It's an aftermarket one and it was broken. You turn it on, it was blaring, and you try and turn the volume down to just go up and up and up. So I removed that while I was at it. We'll probably stick a GPS or a reverse camera, backup camera thing in that hole maybe. But anyway, it was a pretty simple job. A little frustrating on the getting some of those connections undone. I did bleed trying to make that happen. Made myself bleed. The thing that finally worked for me, I'll share this with you so you can see what finally worked well to get it undone. I know the lighting's not the best here. The sunlight's harsh. Little extendable mirror, telescoping mirror thing. This allowed me to get in there and get a better look at some things that I just couldn't see, to see where the release pin was that I needed to activate to unplug the thing. And then I got one of these little awl things. You can get these in, I think these came from Harbor Freight. I had like 3 or 4 of them. Let's see, like this one is straight. But I think this is the one I use most here with a bend on it. I got a few of them, and they kind of work to get in there. It's long enough I could kind of get up behind the dash trim panel, the panel there, and hit the button, the release tab, and work things out. So those are the 2 tools that did it for me. I don't recommend using a pocket knife, especially if it's sharp, because you might bleed. Don't ask me how I know that. So yeah, I tried doing it just by finger, and I couldn't really get to them. I got fat hands, I guess. So I'm going to finish putting the dashboard back together now, and we'll go from there. But at least we have heat and air conditioning. And we're at the point now where we probably don't need air conditioning anymore this year, although it's Wyoming, so you never know. We could have another 80-degree day, but we probably don't need air conditioning again. But we are getting into the season where we need heat and defrost. So very exciting to have that working now. My lovely wife has come to check on the progress. Are you happy? It works. Look at. And I did do a little bit of troubleshooting, by the way, over the time when I was thinking about getting this thing fixed. Before I jumped into replacing this thing, I wanted to make sure it wasn't like the blower motor or the blower resistor. I tested those. We were getting no voltage to the motor, and the resistor seemed to test okay. I'm not an electrical engineer, but it seemed like that was okay. That's a common failure point too. But usually you don't lose everything. We lost everything. So I guess this must be a thing with these because they've replaced it before. The mechanic up there said that's probably what it was, and I guess he was correct because it's working. So I'll include a part number down, or a link to Amazon down below if you want to pick up one of these if you need to get one, because $40 beats the heck out of 280 or whatever it was at the parts store. And Rock Auto, like I said, that's a great way to do that too, if you have time to wait for an order. And you can, you know, if it's not something you want to get off Amazon. Amazon can be iffy with auto parts because sometimes you get the wrong stuff. But I wasn't searching by the vehicle age and model and everything. I was searching by our dormant part number. So that made me a little more confident I could get the right part. And it looks basically exactly the same. It's all plastic with some connections on the back, a little bit of mini PCBs in there. And yeah, we got it fixed. So that's awesome.